Hello friends, we are going to learn today about Arya and Vedic civilization, or you can say Vedic period. In this lesson, we are going to learn details about Vedic civilization or Vedic period or Vedic age you can say. Before learning, let's understand what is Arya or who is Arya. Actually, Arya literally means high birth, or you can say noble person, or you can say sanctified person. Then the question normally comes to your mind where these people actually came from and how they settled in Indian subcontinent in those days. In ancient time, Aryan people or people those who are from Central Asia, they came to India. You can see here the darkened area actually inhabited by Arya people. And this was called actually Aryabharta because Arya people were settled here. That's why it is called Aryabharta. And many people confuse the time period. Actually, there is controversy regarding the BC. However, the most accepted one is 1500 BC to 1000 BC. This is called actually early Vedic age or period. In this diagram, you can see that in those areas, in those time, people coming from Afghanistan, or you can say also Central Asia, they settle here, and the area of those Aryabharta was stretching from Afghanistan. You can see here, this is Afghanistan, Afghanistan to Jamuna. That is, you can see here, suppose this is Afghanistan and this is Yamuna. These areas were called actually Aryabharta. And here in south, one mountain range is called actually Aravalli. So this is the area you can say Aravalli is here and Turkmenistan at the top you can say. So this is the area in which Arya people were living and their culture is called Vedic culture or Vedic age or Vedic civilization, and it was flourished after Indus Valley civilization, which was flourished on the banks of Indus River. Let's understand what is Sapta Sindhu. Actually, Sapta means Sapta Sindhu. Sapta Sindhu is one area or the riverine area in which Arya people were living. Now we are going to discuss one important person, Max Muller. So here is one important person, Max Muller. He also gave a beautiful theory that Arya people settled in between 4000 BC. However, few people deny this. For exam point of view, please remember this 1500 BC to 1000 BC. Now we are going to learn about the Vedas. Before learning Vedas, let's understand the word Veda. What is Veda? Actually, Veda has been derived from Bhid word, which means actually knowledge, or you can say the pure knowledge. So, pure knowledge means Veda or Bhid. And there are four kinds of Vedas. You can say Rig Ved, you can see here Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Sam Ved, Athar Ved. So there are four types of Vedas, and the Rig Veda is the oldest one. You can see here, Rig Veda is the oldest one. So this is oldest one. And the second one is Sam Veda, which deals with music. You have to remember that the oldest musical book, a book related to music, is your Samved. And here is Yajurved. So this Yajurveda deals with sacrifice, and this Atharvaveda deals with actually magic. So there are four kinds or types of Vedas, and after these Vedas, actually other things were written, and these Vedas were called Shruti. Why it was called Shruti? Because it was remembered by hearing. That means in those time people were listening, and from generation to generation they were remembering till the text was produced. And it was also called Smruti. It was also called Smruti. So why Vedas were called Smruti? Because it was again memorized. That means memory waste. Means people generation to generation they are trying to memorize in Gurukula ashram or in Vedic times. And Vedas are written, after these Vedas are written, after these Vedas were written, Brahmanas, you can say Brahmanas were written. Then after that, Aranyaka, Aranyaka was written. Then Upanishads were written. What is this Aranyaka? Actually, Aranyaka was taught in a forest, as this was very secret knowledge, and teachers or gurus, you can say, they were teaching in forest. And Upanishad has lots of meaning, but literary meaning is different from this Upanishad. Let's understand the meaning of Upanishad in literary sense. Actually, Upa means near. Near means actually those devotees who are very close to God is called Upanishad. And Brahmanas were composed in order to substantiate the Vedas. I mean to say Brahmanas were composed and it was attached to Vedas. So after Veda, Brahmanas were written, and which are ritualistic in nature, means full of rituals. So rituals you will find in this Brahmanas. And after this Brahmanas, as I have told, Aranyaka, which is the concluding part of Brahmanas, were written, and after this Upanishads, which is literally means very close to God. Actually, these are the commentaries attached to Aranyak, and which is philosophical nature. Means Upanishads are full of philosophy, darshan, and these are collectively called. Actually, if you see this Upanishad, Aranyaka, and this Brahmanas, everything is actually called Vedantas. All these are called Vedantas. Now we are going to learn Battle of Ten Kings. Battle of Ten Kings. What is Battle of Ten Kings? Actually, this battle was fought on the bank of Ravi River. Sudas, the son of Dibodas, you can say Sudas, the son of Dibodas, and Bharat king of Trishtu, Bharat king of Trishtu or Trishtu family, they own over the alliance of 10 kings or 10 tribes. 10 tribes. In these 10 tribes, 5 were Arya or Aryans and 5 were non-Aryans. And their leader was Purusukta. That means Sudas defeated Purusukta. So Purusukta was defeated in this Battle of 10 Kings or Battle of 10 Samrats in the Vedic period, which is the most important battle fought in Vedic time. Now we are going to discuss the economy, the polity, the society, and Rigvedic gods. Actually, let's discuss the economy. Economy in Vedic period was actually mixed economy. So economy was mixed economy, that is agriculture plus pastoralism was present. That means agriculture and plowing of fields was present, and Arya people, they are expert in sowing, harvesting and cultivating their lands. They had also knowledge about seasons. You can say seasons knowledge. So regarding seasons, they had knowledge, and economy was also based upon cow. And people were called rich as per the storage or capacity of cows. That means a person having more cows is richer than having those people having lowest number of cows. And most of the war was actually fighting for this cow. So cow was the bone of contention in between people in those times. And the economy, we can say another aspect, gold coin. Gold coin or the knowledge of gold was known to these people, but one thing you have to remember, iron was not known to Arya people, Arya or Vedic people. That is early Vedic people having no idea regarding the iron, but they had idea about gold. Another thing is, another thing is that these people or their economy, you can say includes slaves. That means slaves, we can say slaves were not used in agriculture. So in agriculture, slaves were not allowed to work. This is the most important thing you have to remember. Now we are going to discuss the polity of those Ari people. Actually, at that time we can say the polity was actually tribal polity, or you can say tribal polity was present at that time, and tribal chief was called Rajan. So Rajan was the chief of tribal people, or you can say tribal chief. So tribal chief was called at that time Rajan. And Sabha Samiti Vidhata, Sabha Samiti Vidhata, and you can say also Gana. So Gana, Vidhata, or you can say Samiti and Sabha also. These four assemblies, actually tribal assemblies, were present at that time, and the most important is your Sabha and Samiti. So Sabha and Samiti was most important, and we can say women attended this Sabha and Vidhata. So please remember this Sabha and this Vidhata, the tribal assemblies were attended by women. So women attended this Sabha and Vidhata. And these Sabha and Samiti were also most important. And Purohit, actually Purohit, one person, Purohit, Purohit. Purohit was assisting king. So king was assisted or Purohit was helping king. And this Purohit, in this Purohit, you will find two persons. One can say Vasishtha and Vishwamitra. So Vasishtha and Vishwamitra are two most famous Purohits, and we know this that Vishwamitra wrote Gayatri mantra. So Gayatri mantra was written by Vishwamitra. After this Purohit, the next one was after this Purohit, the next one was Senani. Senani was the second most important functionary at that time, and who was in charge of you can say army, but there was no such regular army. You have to remember there was no such regular army. And after this Senani, Brajpati, or you can say Brajapati, who was in charge of you can say large grounds. So there was large grounds who was or which was owned or in charge by Brajapati. So Brajapati was in charge of grounds. So large grounds were in charge of this Brajapati, and we can say also pasture lands were present at that time. So pasture lands and these grounds were under Brajapati, and before that you have to remember this Senani, and the most important is Purohit, who was assisting king. Another term at that time which was very prominent, we call this actually Kulapa. Kulapa is, we can say, head of the family. So the word Kula means also family, so head of the family. Head of family was known as Kulapa. And next one is Gramini. You can say Gramini, who was head of hordes, HORDES, hordes. And as I have told already, there was no regular army at that time in Vedic period. Vedic society was male dominated society. You can say this Vedic society was male dominated society. However, women has say in many things. Women has say in many things. However, it is purely a male dominated society, or you can say male dominated society. So you can say male dominated society. So male dominated society, or you can say male were very much powerful as compared to women. And at that time, actually, at that time, widow remarriage, we can say widow remarriage was present at that time. So widow remarriage. In certain cases, you will find which was prevalent at this Vedic, early Vedic period. And Kula, as I have told, was a term used for family. And here also you can say polyandry. Polyandry, polyandry was prevalent at that time. So we can summarize here that male dominated society. So male dominated society number one. Then widow remarriage was there. Number two. Number three, Kula was used for family. Then another thing you have to remember that polyandry. So polyandry was present at that time. These are the things which was present in Vedic civilization in society. Now we'll discuss the Rigvedic gods. Actually, in this Rigvedic god, you will find Indra. Indra was most famous god, important god in Rigvedic time, who was called actually Purandar. And you can say also Purandar is known as rain god. So rain god is your Indra, and the most number of times this rain god or Indra is mentioned in Rig Veda. And next one is your Agni. Agni is the second most important god in Vedic times, and third god is your Varuna. However, you have to remember that another god is Soma, who was called god of plants. So Soma was called god of plants in Vedic time. So here we can conclude that Indra was the number one, then Agni, then is your Varuna. So these are the god you'll find in Vedic times. So in this lesson, we came to know many things about this Vedic civilization or Vedic period. In next class, we'll discuss about other ancient things of India and the world. Thank you. Wish you happy learning.